What's up, guys? We're live, and this is Life of Giants. Two non-Giants are here tonight. Me and Marco Torres. I'm Cole Clayton. What's up, guys? How you doing, Marco?
What up? What up?
And today, our topic of discussion, our quote for the day, rather, is I chose it myself because I love this fucking movie and this quote. The question is not how far. The question is, do you possess the Constitution, the depth of faith to go as far as needed? By Duce from the Boondock Saints. What do you think about that, Marco?
Um, Generally, I would think that that's absolutely right. If you're gonna start something, finish it. Uh, don't just back out, But again, like we were discussing earlier, anybody who knows me and knows the shit that I've been going through, I kind of got a battle that I feel like I can win the battle. I feel like I'm right in the whole situation, but when it comes down to it, now with new information that comes to light, I know I can win the battle, but there will be no way I could win the war.
Right.
So
There's a bit of a political like what is it called when like say when you have a lawyer. Oh, conflict of interest. There's a bit of a political conflict of interest kind of against you, is what you were
uh,
kind of getting at.
yeah, and you know, if it was a different time and I didn't have to worry about my kids or my dogs or whatever, then I'd fight it out to the end. I
See,
give shits, but you know,
I think you're being too hard on yourself because specifically, I think with this quote, it still kind of pertains to your situation because it's about going as far as needed. You know what I mean? And now you're realizing it's not necessary to go as far as you
well,
originally wanted to.
honestly, I feel like it's needed. I feel like uh it kind of goes back to no matter what I do, no matter what circle I'm in, or no matter what I put myself into, somehow, some way, I always become the leader. And I never want to become the leader. I never wanted to be the leader. I never want to be the fucking head of everything, but somehow I become the leader. And I feel like this is like the universe pushing me to be ahead of a movement that I'm just not, I'm not feeling right now. You know what I'm saying? There's just too
No, I
much
get
to
that.
lose. And pride makes me want to keep in the fight, but also pride cometh before the fall. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
So
But
I mean,
it's kind of it's testing. I think where what's most important to you, though, don't you think?
yeah, it is. It is because it's bothering the fuck out of me to not. What's up, Patty? What's up, Bryce? Um,
Patty,
it's bothering the
Bryce.
fuck out of me to back down from this fight because I know I could win it just on pure intellect alone. I mean, just listening to the lawyers, uh, I feel like, I mean, I don't have as much knowledge in the law per se as in school book knowledge, but I feel like just in the little bit of knowledge I do have and the logic that I have, that I could just win this. But when it comes down to it, again, um, there's too many, I hate to say it, more powerful people above me. And I don't have the connections and the friends that I used to have to be taking this fight to the length. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, but it's also like you said, you don't want to involve your kids and your family and everything, you know, and they will. They always
Well, that's
the
exactly
government always does some way or another,
that's
you know.
exactly how I got into this shit the first place. My son was being hit, and if it's just a regular guy on the street or just a low level authority, yeah, we'll have our pissing contest. But when it's like one of the heads of local governments and one of his buddies, then I'm kind of fucked here in the whole situation. Any and every little thing that goes wrong could be blamed on me. And I hate to say it, and I'm gonna put it out there. You know, I've compared my situation to over 100 other situations within my purview, and the only difference is, uh, what does that say,
Go
Marco?
ahead, he said, answer me.
The fuck you ask?
He must have texted you or something.
I don't even know who the hell that is.
I thought that's your neighbor. He said that a few episodes back.
I don't know who Glenn Brayford is.
That's Reverend Glenn right there.
Nah, the dude's name ain't Reverend Glenn. See, that totally threw me off what the fuck I was saying. God damn it. Anyways, if it's a low level or whatever person, I feel like I could take it on, but anything and everything can be used against me pretty much now. So I don't know if I'm going to I work with you 4 years, motherfucker.
KJ boy, how you doing? Pickensburg, when was the last time you farted? I fart every day. I don't go the whole day without it. I think it's my diet. Hey, Shell, Cruz, how you guys doing?
What up, Teddy?
Elena, we are discussing going the distance. What's up, Teddy? How you doing, man?
Teddy's actually my son-in-law.
Oh, okay, cool. Nice to meet you, Teddy.
He got a podcast too. He does a lot of old school music and shit. Good podcast. Y'all should check him out when you get a chance.
Definitely. If you're looking for guests, I would love to jump on that. I love music. I used to be a musician back in the day.
It's all old school soul music. Shit that I grew up to. A little bit stuff that my parents grew up to, and our parents probably listened to throughout the years and shit.
Oh yeah, and you should come on if you're interested. You should come on one of our shows sometime. Definitely, Teddy. What's up, Dean? How you doing, man?
It's bothering the shit out of me. I want to know who Glenn is. If I worked with him for 4 years, I mean, but
gonna be vague.
But yeah,
trapping.
I just, like I said, I got over 100 people who are within the same purview that I am. Let's just put it that way. And the only difference between me and them in my situation is I'm not as melanated as everybody else. Let's just put it that way. To keep everything nice and straight for your shows.
That's got to be the worst, because then you're caught in the you're caught in the middle. You're not white enough for certain people. You're not black enough for certain people.
Exactly.
You don't
the only way I feel like I could even get out of the situation where we just get left alone is if I put a Black Lives Matter fucking sign in front of my house.
But then that would piss off the cops even more.
I mean, why did I have to hear that in my fucking studio?
Somebody yelling about the toilet.
So, look, man.
The carpet company. It's Monday, bro.
So who's Dean 7? Is it about drugs? No, it ain't nothing about drugs. The drug game is over. That was a former life, man.
Yeah, we're talking about kind of like what tests your convictions, and having to put your best foot forward in certain situations, even though you kind of don't want to,
Right.
What's up, Walkie Talkie? How you doing, man?
And I feel like if I pursue this bullshit, I'm gonna become kind of a leader of a movement that I don't know if I want to be a part of.
Says Marco has an angry streak in him that scares me. I don't know that I've ever seen you mad, Marco.
Not very many.
I don't even know if I've seen you like agitated even.
I've been agitated. So some people have seen me agitated, but nobody was really. I mean, it's been a long time. It's been a real long time. I was pissed off when they came at me on my dogs. I'll tell you that about my dogs.
Oh, I believe it. My son's dog just died this weekend while he was with me. He just found out today because it's the dog me and his mom got together about a year before we broke up, and yeah, he wasn't dealing with it too great. I didn't even know. She didn't warn me either. I could have warned him, but whatever.
No. Well, I mean, who was it? It was I think it might have been Louis C.K. He said an animal dying or a pet dying is good because it teaches the kids, about life and about death. And so
About
when
grandma.
when he's like, so now when grandma passes away, remember the dog? Well, that.
Right, grandma now. Dean says you gotta do what you gotta do. And Ray DeVito says, nah, Marco's a pansy. All right, here we go. Here we go. I hope this really is Ray DeVito and not some dumbass pretending to be him. Because one day Ray is gonna be at a show with Marco. Marco's just gonna boom, and Ray's gonna be like, "What the fuck?"
It might happen. It might happen. Just watch who you run your mouth out. Be prepared if you're gonna run it. Anybody's name that I've ever spoke, I'm prepared. If I gotta come, if you want to come at me, you come at me. I don't put nobody's name in my mouth that I ain't willing to fucking back up. So better watch your mouth, Ray.
Right. This is my favorite hate watch when I'm on the road. I'll be in Altoona tomorrow. Where is Altoona? That sounds like the middle of nowhere.
I've heard of Altoona.
Was that Ohio?
I feel like that might be Pennsylvania.
Ew, even worse. Altoona.
There's some decent parts of PA. They got a lot of
Pennsylvania. You're right.
They got a lot of fucking odd. Michigan. There's an Altoona in Michigan too.
There's probably Altoona in every state, if we're honest.
Yeah, no shit, because Patty is saying it's outside of Pittsburgh. So, there's an Altoona in every state, just like there's an Elm Street in every neighborhood.
Right. Top 3 U.S. presidents. Oh, that's a good question. I got to put Teddy Roosevelt at number 1 for sure. That dude was a fucking G.
Andrew Jackson was a G.
I could give you that one. I could give you that one. I feel like Jackson and Teddy were just the same guy for their time. If you really think about it, they're both fucking G's, bro.
Yeah, Andrew Jackson would just shoot a motherfucker. I think, wasn't he the one that his last words was his regret was he didn't get to shoot his vice president?
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Andrew Jackson wasn't no joke. And I would say Benjamin Franklin, because he was the only one.
Benjamin Franklin wasn't a president? You mean George Washington?
No, Benjamin. Oh, no. Wait a minute. Benjamin Franklin? No, he wasn't a president. You're right.
Yeah.
He was
founding father. Yeah.
I'm thinking about the money. But I think he would have been because he was the only one that didn't have slaves. I mean, back then, of all the people who signed everything and got America running, Benny Frank was the only one who didn't have any slaves.
Yeah, isn't it crazy to be like, you write down all men are created equal, and everybody looking around like, seems in order, and every single one of them is a slave owner? Like,
all men are created equal. You know what we mean.
You know what we mean. That's so fucking wrong, bro.
Here's something that I did not realize. And for you people who are pissing and moaning about the education system, especially people of my age, he was a womanizer, but he didn't have slaves. He enslaved the pussy.
that was like the one time where being autistic was probably like considered sexy back then. Like, look what I can do with this kite and a key. Like, you know what I mean? Trains weren't invented yet. You had to get a kite.
Oh, speaking of trains, here's something, Cole. Did you hear anything? Like, Ray sent me a video earlier. There was a train derailment in Indiana. But I didn't know anything about Indiana. I thought, it didn't have any tags on the video. So I'm looking up train derailments thinking it's in Ohio. Did you know there was another train derailment in Ohio in February?
No, it didn't. No. You know what? I did hear about that, actually.
It was in by Springfield in Attica?
Yeah. I did hear about that because
did you hear the report?
My ex was on that train.
I don't know about that, bro.
Not my baby mama, the girl I was dating last year. Because then I heard about it and I was like, oh shit, that's over by her. So I texted her. I was like, "Hey, are you cool?" She was like, "We were actually on the train when that happened." And I was like, "Oh." And then I started fucking with her again
It
and
wasn't.
started to ruin my life again, as per usual.
I think she was lying to you because that wasn't a passenger train. It was. It
What
was.
train am I thinking of?
I don't know, but this train, the
It was
way
around New Year's. You said February, right?
this was last February, March, April. Yeah, it was in February, like late February. Is in Attica. But the way they described it was it wasn't carrying anything, or four of the cars flipped. Nothing toxic was in the four cars. There was just ethanol in the fifth.
Oh,
like the they talked about the four. Four of them was okay, but one of them wasn't. Bitch, you were carrying a bomb. Ethanol is alcohol. It's an explosive. It's used in gasoline.
okay. So the one I was thinking of was in December. Cuyahoga Valley Scenic Railroad. Yeah, there's all kinds of fucking derailments all the fucking time. I swear to God.
Well, there was one in Indiana apparently today. Supposedly it was just carrying cornstarch. What? I mean, what company needs that much cornstarch that you got a whole train full of cornstarch?
Yeah, something
Yeah,
ain't adding up there.
a whole fucking train? The train.
It's anthrax, bro. So, and this one was, you said February?
The Attica one was in February.
No, like Ohio has actually a lot of like train routes, believe it or not. Like I didn't know that until I moved
has
here.
a lot of train wrecks that we're
Well,
not
right.
talking about.
Well, the more fucking trains you have, the more likely you are to hit wrecks. Oh, well, because you know what it is. It's like we're directly in the middle of New York and Chicago, so like that's a pretty big deal. Not as much as it once was, because Chicago ain't shit no more. But you know, for a while, you know, they were sending shit back and forth between Chicago and New York,
You
and
know
see,
what?
all that had to come through Ohio.
Right. Well, you know what I don't understand? If you look in history, I mean, there has been some big train wrecks in history. But if you average out the amount of train wrecks through history to the amount of train wrecks just in the past 2 years,
Kind of.
yeah, there's a lot more train wrecks in the past 2 years.
But I mean, do the math with the airplanes too. That's you can say the exact same thing about the fucking
Yeah, you're
airplanes all of a
absolutely
sudden.
fucking right. And we all called the fucking airplane thing. You know, Trump wants to say it's DEI. Fucking Biden didn't want to say shit about it. But we all know. I mean, whoever's in the know knows that Boeing had some fuck shit going on.
Right.
It was just
it's not female pilots at all.
Rapping shit. You know, they was using tin cans to fucking put these planes together.
Why? Why? They're the number one plane company in the world, and just all of a sudden you get cheap. Like, what happened? Did they fucking lose their ass in Vegas or something?
Maybe it wasn't all of a sudden. You know, they just always been using cheap shit, and now you got lazier workers who don't know how to MacGyver shit no more. You know, before you had a few motherfuckers that could take a refrigerator door and stick it on the side of a Boeing and you make it to Europe. Now motherfuckers put a cooler lid on the side of the
if that's the explanation, then fuck those original guys who could do it, because why are you gonna suck the dick of your fucking company knowing it doesn't follow OSHA standards? I'm not doing that shit either. Like I feel for the new crew, if that's the case, who don't want to. I'm not doing this shit. Fuck that. Like, I just slap it on there. Get it out of here.
New crew ain't doing dick, because the last time somebody said anything about it, they were supposed to go in front of a Senate hearing and blow the lid off of everything, and magically he just become unalive. Let's just put it down.
Right, like 2 different people fucking died mysteriously, suicided themselves. You know what I mean?
Gotta love when you're tossed out a window, but you committed suicide.
Yeah, like the fucking lead singer of One Direction, he fell off his balcony. Oddly, I don't get it. I don't understand. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, well, I mean,
that was some Diddy shit. I'm telling you,
Phil Schneider.
You said what?
That even goes back to like Phil Schneider, the guy he was the whistleblower on the Dolce base. You know, he was going around and he was telling people about what he found when he was working for a military contractor. You know, he went around for about a year, maybe a year and a half, and then magically he killed himself with a piece of clear medical hose in his car. You know, he strangulated himself in the
Right?
car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's well, what about the other guy who was saying for years that the CIA was behind the crack epidemic, and then he ended up mysteriously fucking like killed himself with 2 shots to the back of the head in his car. Yeah.
Yeah, gotta love the.
Remember, there's a fucking like a head of a seat behind you too, so like you like that, like it don't make no sense.
Just like the dude in the Tesla, just you know, the recent one, the Tesla that blew up in front of the fucking dude. Yeah, you got a fucking Desert Eagle. A Desert Eagle. Those things are known to blow motherfuckers' heads off. Not to put a hole in it, off. They don't make Desert Eagle 22s. They don't make Desert Eagle 9mm. It's 40 cows and up.
Damn.
So you're making a mess. There is shit everywhere, and blood cooks. So if it, you know, they could say, "Oh, there was a fire inside." Yeah, the fire would have cooked the blood in there. There would have been, you know, there would have been brain. There would have been teeth. There would have been pieces of
like
eye.
Marvin from Pulp Fiction.
That's it.
The CIA behind JFK assassin was CIA behind JFK assassin. I don't think so. After everything I've been reading about from the files that were released like a week or two ago, but you know, so that I don't end up suicided, I'm not going to talk about it. All right, I'm just going to keep sharing memes between friends.
Me and Dino came because there's a bunch of different theories. So like, me and Dino came up with a theory of our own. We kind of put it all together. So there's one theory that we all was brought up with. That was the guy in the fucking tower. One shot, one kill. It was the magic bullet. Then there was.
You talk about Harvey Oswald, Lee Harvey Oswald.
Okay, you say the name. I'm the guy in the fucking tower. Okay. So then you know it come up. There was a story that was going around that there was a Secret Service agent new on the job that day. And he missed where he was supposed to be. So he was running towards the fucking, you know, the motorcade with a loaded weapon.
God, could you imagine that being your first day at work?
Pop the fucking president. Dude, when I read that one, I was like, oh, hell no. That'd be fucked up if that's all these years, and some dickhead just tripped and happened to pop the fucking president. So then.
That's crazy. I've never heard that.
Yeah, then there's another theory that it was a guy sitting in the front seat. And
I've heard that one.
There's another theory that the wife did it. Because there's video. I've seen some video that looked like
he leaned over and Marilyn Monroe thing. So, it's not implausible.
What if this was all together? You know, dude from the clock tower shot, missed. That's why they heard a plink on a fucking on one of the sewer lids, because nobody ever talks about the noise the sound that came from the plink on the sewer lid. So there was a missed shot somewhere. So he fucking misses. Dickhead trips over. He shoots the first one. The old lady and the dude in the front maybe been fucking around. They said this is the opportunity. She reaches over and plugs him. He reaches over and plugs him. Nobody sees shit. They blame it on dickhead in the watchtower.
You think all of it could have happened at once?
While the Secret Service agent is shitting himself, like, oh my God, he's blaming himself when that, I mean, because just look at the magic bullet. The magic bullet went, came out one side, went back in, fucking spun around. Man.
Like, what? I mean, Kennedy has a big ass head, so it might have rattled in there a little bit.
No, that wasn't an I could see if that was an M16, an M16A2. Those bullets were meant to fucking rattle. They tumble when they hit. 22s, 22 longs are made to tumble when they hit. That's why they fucking the mob used to use them back in the day. You know, that was a mob hit gun, a 22, right to the back of the ear. The fucking thing bounces around in the skull. It's hard to fucking find. You know, just like if you get hit with a 22, yeah, the initial wound isn't that bad at all. It's just if you don't get that bullet out, then it fucking travels through your system and you're fucked.
Right.
So, you know, I could see if it was an M16 or a 22, but no, these were big caliber weapons, you know, that took him out.
Military.
When the face one hit, the full frontal, even though it supposedly came from the back of the head blew out.
Right. That's a big important part nobody ever talks about.
Right. So, you know, the bullet coming from the back would have made the front blow out.
Mm-hmm.
A bullet from the front makes the back blow out. So, I mean, that's why, you know, the Secret Service one is kind of, to me, a little far-fetched, because that would have been the blowout to the front. But, again, magic bullet went in, out. It wasn't just the headshot. So the headshot might have, you know, very well came from.
Well, you also notice he grabs his neck.
Yeah.
Too.
So
there's like a lot going on there. Like, there was just so many. That other thing is like it's super hard to figure out who was behind it. It really pinpoint who could be behind it, because he made a lot of enemies in his.
Yeah. I mean,
he was a one-term president, right?
Believe so.
He wasn't in his second term. He was probably going to win his second term, but
yeah.
Well,
yeah,
he made a lot of. I mean, he made enemies of the CIA, so he wanted to scatter them to the wind. There was the Bay of Pigs thing that probably pissed off a lot of people in the military.
Well, there was apparently there was issues with the Cubans. There was issues with the mob.
The Cubans obviously pissed off the Cubans.
It was
Russia.
I'm going, you know, a little bit deeper. There was issues with Majestic 12. You know, Majestic 12 is, right?
I've never heard that. No.
Yeah, the Majestic 12 is the secret government, if you want to talk about. It's way above, beyond Illuminati, way beyond all that shit.
Eric Adams was actually talking about them recently on a podcast. The mayor of New York.
They are the ones that control a lot of the UFO and paranormal shit and all the highly classified shit. That's Majestic 12. Those are the ones that shut down fucking Skinwalker Ranch.
What the fuck is that? You're saying so many words I don't know.
You don't know about Skinwalker Ranch? Okay,
should I Google this? Is this something I can Google?
Yeah.
Okay, it's not gonna I'm not gonna be on a watch list, am I?
Not for Skinwalker Ranch. I mean, they've done so many fucking somebody actually lives there now. They set up a base there to investigate. A lot of them are saying that there's nothing going on there. A lot of them are saying there is. But they kind of always isolated to one spot, whereas this whole area of land they deem Skinwalker Ranch, I forget what the real name of the place is, has had all kind of shit. Anything from these big wolves, like dire wolves, which everybody said are extinct. But now today, I don't remember what article I was going through. They said dire wolves are fucking back. So, and those are huge.
Oh yeah, I was reading that too. The dire wolf shit.
So, I mean, the dire wolf thing could not be, you know, it quite possibly been a real dire wolf and not some supernatural thing. But the original lore about Skinwalker Ranch was it was a piece of land that the old shamans and warriors used to walk back and forth to after wars or whatever and shit. And I guess there was a lot of bloodshed and a lot of bad shit that went on with the Indians and the natives over there. But the shamans would change themselves into werewolves or whatever type of things. Everything from werewolves to Wendigos, or Wendigos are Canadian, which is weird. But anyways, you know, that's where the skinwalkers, the shamans called themselves skinwalkers because they were able to shapeshift. But supposedly there's been UFO activities over there a lot. They actually made a movie about it. This guy's kid got abducted right behind him at the place. They were trying to investigate. They were looking more into like a paranormal type deal. But here it was like the UFO shit. There would be a hologram pretty much of this kid running through like at a certain time of night. But like it shows the kid run into the house and then just disappear. I don't know how much of the story that they embellished for the thing, but it really did happen. This kid did get abducted out of that house. There's also reports of like I said, these huge wolves that people have shot at, and these things just look back at you like, really? The fuck are you doing? Shit like that. Like,
and what does this got to do with Kennedy?
it's just the conspiracies that go on, that it was. I went back to Majestic. Majestic was the we were talking about Majestic, and then I told you.
Because they're behind what you're saying. They're probably behind Skinwalker Ranch, so they might be behind Kennedy as well.
Just like the Majestic ones had their hands in the Montauk Project. They had their hands in the 3 Mile Island shit. They have their hands in pretty much all kind of stuff. So pretty much like if anything is really found and it's real, Majestic takes it over and you never hear about it again.
Here's a real question, like a super question. What do you think the chances are that it's the same group of people, whether government or organization, whatever you want to call it, that killed Kennedy, that was behind the shooting of Trump?
It's a good possibility. I mean, it's a real good possibility. I feel like, I mean, to know, I mean, because just like Kennedy, Trump got a lot of enemies. Right. He's made a lot of enemies throughout. So
even just before he was president and running for president and all that shit, he made a lot of enemies.
Well, see, when he wasn't running for president, he had more allies than enemies. Now that he has all the enemies, like his enemies quadrupled that he became president. Because of course, being Trump who he is, he's going to throw his dick around. I mean, that's just what it is.
That's what I love about him, though.
But that's where you get a lot of the enemies from. But being that he has so many enemies and so many controversies, if something were to happen to him, we'll never find out. It'll just be like Kennedy. We're never going to find out. This could have been something from one of these libtard idiots all the way to a 3-letter agency, and we'll never find out. They'll find the easiest scapegoat if something happens to him, and it'll be that. It'll be a white Republican who just got tired. He felt like he voted wrong. That's exactly what it'll be. You know what I'm saying? Just like everybody who goes against, oh no, he was white and he was a Republican.
It's essentially Lee Harvey Oswald all over again.
Right.
What do you think? Where do you think we are right now if he did die? Like, obviously, I think Joe Biden was the guy running on the Democratic ticket at the moment, because I think Kamala took over after the shooting.
Yeah, but it don't work that way. Them two are the only way either one of them are ever get it. Well, Biden can't. He already ran his terms.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But Biden was still on the ticket as a Democrat. I'm saying, where do you think we are right now in this moment? What do you think would be happening? If Trump had been shot, do you think the Republicans would have still won? I don't even know who runs that, because J.D. Vance wasn't even selected yet as the VP.
Well, it would go back to the president. Because Trump got shot before he became president. Joe Biden was still president, even though Kamala Harris was running. Joe Biden was still president.
Kamala wasn't running yet. Kamala took over after, because it was the debate between Trump and Biden, and then I think like a week later was the shooting, and then after like 3 or 4 days after the shooting, maybe a week, Biden dropped out, probably because he was like, okay, the debate was bad. Now I gotta drop the fuck out. So Kamala wasn't even running yet.
Well, I mean, then it would go back to Biden. I mean,
you think Biden wins for sure?
I don't think Biden wins for sure, but it's most likely because they were in the middle of it. The Democrat would have won. I don't think Biden would have dropped out if Trump would have got taken out. I think, and Kamala would have, then maybe it would have been against, Kamala if she chose to challenge him. But, Kamala wasn't, Kamala was thrown in that.
I don't think Kamala would have won regardless, but yeah, if my information is correct, Biden was the guy on the ticket at the moment when Trump got shot. So I really want to know is like who would have run on the Republican ticket? Do we just essentially surrender to the Democratic side at that point? Because it was pretty late in the game. It was what, July,
Well, there was
June, maybe.
other people on the Republican ticket, and there was also, a lot of people like leaving them out, but there was also the Libertarians there too, and there
Right.
was also write-ins.
RFK. I guess RFK was running. He
Yeah,
doesn't win. There's no way he wins.
I
Not
didn't think
not from
RFK.
independent.
I didn't think RFK was gonna make it to where it's at now. I mean, I like a lot of RFK's policies, and
I do
I
too.
feel like his heart and his brain. Well, I don't know about the brain. His heart is in the right place on shit, but I think some of that brain slug that was gnawing at the brain kind of fucked a little some because he's going a little bit overboard. And the bad
Well,
thing, he's going overboard like Michelle Obama went overboard. But see, Michelle Obama, you knew that was full of shit because she was cutting out fucking Happy Meals in California, and then she was caught the same day with a big old table full of ribs and barbecue and shit with her kids down in California. So, her little fight for obesity was bullshit. But what's up, Serge?
hey
Um,
Serge, my town is
I,
almost underwater. Why? It's snowing here. That's crazy.
dude, fucking Warren. Just a side note, Warren Saturday there were cars damn near halfway underwater in parking lots. I was
Damn,
fucking in fucking Warren. That's like maybe 20 minutes from my house.
that's about an
Yeah,
hour from me. They ain't that far.
but like I was saying, fucking RFK is taking it to like almost like soup Nazi extreme.
Yeah, I mean, he's focusing on more of the food, and he kind of is getting away from the vaccines, which I feel like was a big part, like a big important part of his original, like I don't know, platform. And well, I
I,
mean,
I agree.
Candace Owens just come on and said, or come around last week and said he's compromised by Israel. So like, who knows what that even means?
Dude, I mean, first of all,
Shit.
I feel like I watched a Senate hearing today that had nothing to do with vaccines and nothing to do, or it wasn't a Senate hearing. It was that Caroline, the hot chick who talks for Trump. Um,
Oh, Kevin
Levin,
Levitt,
yeah, so
Caroline
her.
Levitt.
And they I forget what they were
She's
discussing.
not that hot though, because like,
I think
just real. I mean, she's hot. Don't get me wrong, but like, I didn't. She's 27. I thought this bitch was like 35, almost
so
40.
she's
She's
27,
old looking,
married to a 60-year-old.
right? And he is wearing her down. His
I'm
age
not
is
gonna lie.
contagious to her.
I'm not gonna lie, that old man probably got money. So he probably got a nice fat script of Cialis or whatever his dick heart of choice is. And he is putting in work. I would
Right.
be. Bitch, you're getting my money. Yeah, I'm putting in my work. You're gonna work these last fucking 5-10 years, but after that you'll be good. You'll be able to retire. But I'm putting in 10 years that, even if I'm blowing dust out the end of my dick, shit,
I
you're gonna have dusty cooter syndrome.
I can't wait till ED for me. That's gonna. You know how much work I'm gonna get done when I don't have to worry about a bitch. Oh, shit.
But
I can't wait.
as far as that whole compromise thing, I remember it was way before we was constantly talking about Trump and shit.
Serge, you need to evacuate, bro.
Actually, me and Dino were gonna do a show on me arguing for the other side of history. And one of the big things I wanted to argue was on. I mean, and now mind you, this was a satire show. Don't get butthurt, people. I was going to argue for the side of Hitler and the Nazis because I
Of
feel
course
like,
you were.
well, just because we've been told one story, but logic and a little bit of very very late research shows an entirely different story. I by
I don't want
far
to get into it.
I by far do not condone any of that because again, that our history is being changed damn near daily.
Right.
So, but You know, the whole, just for example, we're constantly told like Nazism and Hitler is like the epitome of racism. You know, and when somebody talks racism, automatically Nazi and Hitler is always thrown into that argument. No matter what, no matter what kind of racism it is, that's always somehow, some way thrown into it. But if you look into history, you just do a little light research. Um, Hitler and the Reich were good friends. Actually, some of the few people that were allowed into Tibet and to join the monks and the Dalai Lama. There's pictures of the SS and the Dalai Lama and all the peaceful, enlightened people. You know, Hitler was good friends with the people of Africa, helped out a lot of the African people. That's where a lot of the soldiers
South Americans too.
Yeah, that Argentina.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, there's a lot of melanated in that racism. For some,
he just didn't like specific Europeans, and I get that.
No. See, this is where I started doing, like, this is where my logic came in. Okay, everybody says he hated the Jews. Well, why did he hate the Jews? What were the Jews doing at the same time that the Nazis were doing whatever they were doing?
108 other things.
No. The Jews, actually, back then, they weren't technically all Jews. Now, we're not talking about the ones with the pigtails.
We're really talking about this right now. We're on Dino's channel, and he's not here to defend himself.
Well, no, I mean, because me and Dino have talked about this. You know, if you look into it, all them sand people were doing worse. They were going village to village, stacking people, amassing an army because of the evil Christians or whatever. And you know, they didn't politely put people together and shoot them through their mouth and kill them. You know, I hate that sounds horrible, but would you rather take a bullet real quick or be bludgeoned to death with a dull fucking sword off the side of a camel, or raped to death, man or women? Because that's what the sand people were doing.
Wait, who's raping? Is it women?
They were raping. They raped men, dude.
Who's doing the raping?
The sand people.
God damn it.
So
then the other thing.
So you start looking into that and how they were coming up from the South. Now, were the Nazis racist, or were they trying to stop an invasion?
Why do I feel like you weren't arguing for satire?
Yeah, I mean, what bothered me, what got me on the whole kick is I sat one day and I was watching this story about Auschwitz and about how many people got exterminated, and then they started talking about the gas chambers and the ovens and stuff, and numbers weren't coming up right. Like, there's no way. There was 3 ovens, like people ovens. And again, we do not condone any of this shit. This is just fact. There was 3 ovens. Now, supposedly, for the amount of people that died, them ovens had to been running 24/7, people in and out. Now, the amount of people that they did in, they had to be carried upstairs after they were gassed to be burned. So you have to have people to carry them, each person, dead weight, upstairs to be burned for a particular amount of time before they became ashes, before you can redo the whole process. The numbers don't match. And when I seen that the numbers didn't match, and I did my own calculations and the numbers didn't match, then I started looking into, well, what else was kind of not real. And you know,
most of history isn't real,
right? But I mean, you know, a lot of it is some fuck shit that you can't fucking challenge it or talk about it. You know, again, you said, I'm surprised. I've said that I ain't gonna say it no more, but I've said the H word fucking 3 times already. Usually, if we were on my stream, that would have been out. First time I mentioned that dude's name. The first time I mentioned.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the chick. The other H word.
No. Not she who is not to be named. She who shall not be named does not get named.
I was like, when did you mention her name?
Because even he doesn't get hit as much as she does.
This is Thomas Riddle right there.
Yeah, definitely. That's that's Severus Snape fucking all day. Dude, they got a game. I just seen it like 20 minutes ago, maybe a half hour ago. Right before I came in here, there is a game called the C list. Or just say that. It's the last name, but it's called the C list. And it has the people who ended up magically coming up missing
Oh, okay.
situations. And then they throw in the rest of the Congress and stuff. And I guess the premise of the game is somebody gets dealt the C card, and you got to figure out who has the C card. So everybody gets dealt cards or whatever, and I'm assuming I didn't see the whole thing how it's played out, but
It's like a board game.
No, it's a card game.
That's crazy.
Yeah, dude, I'm thinking
This
about
past publication.
This is just like, dude, you've seen the Illuminati game, didn't you?
No, but the Illuminati still survives on the idea that we're not real. But those two particular people know they're real.
If you look at the Illuminati cards, they not only predict shit, but they look like Yu-Gi-Oh cards or Pokemon. Well, more Yu-Gi-Oh cards, but they predict shit and they show shit that goes like whoever made these decks up, like knew some shit. It's weird, like it's real weird. Look up the decks, like
probably the Simpsons time travelers.
Yeah, well, you know the whole writers and creators of the Simpsons are all like physicists and shit like that, right?
That kind of gives it more.
That's just like, you know, when Homer came up with the Higgs boson, or he was like one number off. He predicted the Higgs boson. The equation.
So you just get hired and read, huh?
Dude, the information. Like I rarely sleep. Like I get like a nap during the day a little bit, but you know, if I'm not playing Mortal Kombat or fixing something, it's just an information dump.
No, that's what I do. It's funny. That's what I do. I don't get high, but I just read all day. I'm all night, really. Google and shit till like 4 o'clock in the morning, and you know way more shit than I do. Like it's just crazy.
I mean, it's even like I'll fall asleep watching a video, wake up, you know, and somehow it's downloaded. I found that out when my kids were little. Like I had lost my job. I was between jobs, so my old lady at the time was working, and you know, after I did my house bitch jobs, you know, because I mean, if you work, then it's my job to take care of the house. After I was doing my house bitch jobs, which ladies don't take that fucking long to do, I was bored the rest of the day. So I started watching a lot of cooking shows and baking shows and stuff. And then, like, I'd fall asleep watching them and just wake up out of nowhere, smoke a joint, and I'm cooking crepes and I'm making coffee muffins and Jello muffins and I don't know if you heard me talk about the mashed potato cupcakes. Or not the meatloaf cupcakes with the mashed potato frosting.
That sounds good.
Oh, dude, and it's a hell of a joke too. You make like you make the meat like you would a meatloaf or whatever, whichever way, because the people are different. They make the meatloaf different. But you put the balls inside muffin tins, like you're making cupcakes, and you bake them in the oven. And they'll flatten it. They'll take the shape of it as long as you don't have them too firm. Then you got a fucking meatball. So
like barbecue sauce too.
Well, yeah, you can make whatever frosting. Like when you put enough in it.
Well, no, keep the mashed potatoes, but pour barbecue over the top, like a little dollop of barbecue too.
Well, what I did was I sprinkled corn or peas on top.
Oh, there you go. Oh yeah, now we're talking.
So you frost them with the mashed potatoes, and then maybe dribble.
Do that.
You could do dribble gravy on them, or you could dribble your barbecue sauce on
them. We haven't done meatloaf was the first episode of Hammer and Cheese, and we haven't done meatloaf since. So we should do something like that, sir.
Well, I mean, it would be easier it would be quicker too. You go get you one of them.
Why are you always trying to push the show less than an hour? The hour is a good fucking amount of time. Well, I swear, you're like, go faster. What? You the 15-minute show?
Well, I mean, if you think about it, most cooking shows are made for women on the go. So
that's not what this is.
They're trying to make that quick meal, and if you want to appeal to a broader, you know, audience, then yeah, here's a quick meal that you can make for you or your family, and it tastes good and it looks good.
So that's originally what we wanted to do, was make it like kind of like a old school cooking show, but the show just evolved so much into more of like a man hangout, like it's just dudes just
No,
talking
it
shit,
evolved
you
into a
know.
woman hater. I'm gonna make this shit.
No, that's just my part. You keep
I'm
me
trying to
in
balance
check.
it out.
I'm the woman hater. You guys are the ones telling me that I'm a bitch for it. So, Serge, are you guys trying to get this channel blocked? I'm not. And as you can see, I got him talking about meatloaf. So I got him off. It's just it takes a second. It takes a second. And worst comes to worst, I'll just hit him with the H bomb. You know, get him shut off real quick.
I
Shit.
mean,
Have some
I
recipes for me? Send them my way. Send them my way. I have played Cards Against Humanity. I love. That's the thing about me. I love like card games, like drunk games, like fucking poker, dominoes, any type of board game, really.
I used to like dominoes, but I used to play spades and hearts a lot back in the day. But it's
I
just
never really got into spades much, but I'm not real complected enough for that.
yeah, it's been a long time since I played any of that, and I've never played. So they keep talking about. I've had other friends, Anna Ray, talk about Cards Against Humanity. We got to play.
It's a fun game.
I've never even seen the cards.
It's a fun game, bro. Because okay, so the concept of the game is you play around drinks and whatnot, and you can smoke weed or whatever. But you get a circle of friends, and then there's like one guy who has like the lead card, and they play it. And it has like a template, and it's like it'll either start a sentence or say like it'll say something like craziest thing, and then you guys all have like 7 cards, and y'all all play one card down, and whoever has like the fucking the craziest card or whatever that finishes the sentence or makes that template wild or whatever. What really you can kind of go on your own rules too, house rules. So everybody kind of votes, or maybe it's the main guy who puts the main card down, votes and see which one's the funniest or which one is like the most like creative.
Improv. It's improv with cards.
Pretty much.
Whose
Pretty much is.
Whose line is it anyways? Instead of
yeah, 100%. That's exactly what it is.
Going to the audience, you're going to the deck of cards. I mean, what?
Because most people aren't creative enough to come up with something on their own, so they have these couple of cards, So, but yeah, it can be very hilarious. Because there's things in there like I think the funniest thing I ever saw. This was on the internet. It was what gets better as it ages, and then somebody played Daddy's Belt.
That just seems like somebody came out of their PTSD.
Well, right. That's the point.
Stop drinking. They're letting a little bit too much information out. Maybe you should have kept that one to yourself, Diane.
I'm telling you, it gets wild because there's some pretty wild. And I know people who like collect cards for that game because you can buy like a set of cards, a basic set, and then you can actually go and buy other cards to add to the game too. So
you know how much money them people are making off of that stupid shit?
Oh, for sure. Because the set's like
fucking piece of paper and wrote stupid shit on there and made
you can do that too. I've seen people do that too. So, but yeah, like the original set is like $20 or some shit. So like, yeah, they're making money hand over fist on that game. And then there's of course variations of the game too, which I'm sure they're getting a cut of, because there's like I've seen like the weed version of the game, and I even seen like a kids version of the game so that kids can play it. So it's like G friendly or whatever.
I'm more into like Jenga.
Jenga's a fun game too. I love board games, dude.
I got a Jenga that's made out of joints. Like it's a wooden Jenga, but all the pieces are joints.
That would be a fun podcast.
Dude, it's
Sitting
fucking
there and playing board games and talking shit.
that it's been done. The video game nerd used to do it.
Yeah, but not like us. I mean, we're doing exactly what everybody else with the podcast does right now. You and me just talking shit about whatever, and it devolves into nothing. We're essentially doing the Joe Rogan podcast. You know what I mean? Like, but not like us. So,
Oh shit. So I mean, is there anything that you had that like going back to our main question? I felt like I spoke on it more than anything. I mean, what did that quote mean to you? I mean,
going the distance and whatnot, having the depth and the. Well, I mean, there's a lot of things. It could be my custody case because a lot of people are like, just get what you can, get every other weekend. That's what every dad does, you know. I was like, no, fuck that. I'm gonna do what I can. Now I've split custody, you know, which actually is more of a pain in the ass than anything because now we have to agree on shit and we never do, you know. So it would almost be easier for her to just tell me it's gonna be like this, but now I have to put my opinion in.
then you get to argue about it.
Yeah, right.
Like, why did I
fun part.
fucking even say anything? Why are you even asking my opinion or asking me to put my input on this motherfucker if you just gonna fight me about it?
Right.
And that is a big woman's trait. I ain't trying to be sexist, but that is a big woman's fucking trait. They ask for your opinion, you give it to them, and they either A, ignore it and say, well, so-and-so told me this.
Oh my God, the so-and-so told me.
So fucking go do it. Why'd you even ask
Why
me?
did you bring it up? Yeah, right.
Dude, I had an ex like that all the time. She would, well, what happens with this, or how do you fix this? Well, this person said that.
Right.
Well, you go do it the way that person
That's
said.
my baby mama for sure is that way.
Fix it when your dumb ass fucked it up.
My baby mama would, like, the funniest thing would be that she would argue with me, and then my own mother would say the exact same thing as me. And my baby mama does not like my mom. Okay, my mom and my baby mom do not get along. And my mom would say the exact same thing, and my baby mama would be like, I never thought of it like that. And I'm like, I've been saying the same thing. Where do you think I came from? I came from her. Why do you think we have, like, you don't even like her? Like,
the vagina synced up.
Right.
Hey, that fucking happens. That's real shit. You can put a handful of chicks that came from different places in one house to live together for a couple months, and all their periods will sync up.
Right. They call that
as vaginal syncage.
There's a name for it, but I don't know. I just call it the apocalypse.
It's a hive mind, dude. It's a fucking hive mind. You ever realize that?
Okay, you know how I feel about women in general, and then you're out here just antagonizing me right now. Because you know, if I say something, you're gonna fucking you're gonna talk some shit. Oh, here we go again, Cole.
Yeah, because you're just like, fuck them whores. I'm like,
I am,
and I'm like, the horse just got, a hive mind.
Shit. But outside of the baby mama case, because I feel like I'm a broken record on that. I think this was because this started off as me writing jokes on a piece of paper fucking 10 years ago, telling myself I wanted to be a comedian, to COVID happening, and I was like, the world's gonna end. I gotta go get on stage before I die. You know what I mean? Like, because at the time I was like a liberal, like I was a big liberal, like mask on, fucking, we got to get rid of guns because they're shooting up schools. That type of liberal. You know what I mean? So I legitimately believe that the apocalypse was happening.
Eating dog biscuits.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
That did not even hit me anywhere near that.
Well, by the time I met you, I was starting to like, I was kind of starting to like wake up a little bit, but so like I got on stage and then got a little bit of sketch work done with Ryan, obviously, and whatnot. and then the podcasting, and it's been what fucking 5 years now, and it's just growing and growing and growing, and like there's been days and weeks and months, hell, even a couple of years where I was like, I just don't want to do this. I want to do it, but I just don't feel like it. Or maybe I don't have what it takes, or like, but it really is one of those things where if you just keep doing it, people have responded, And now look, not to necessarily brag or pat myself on the back, maybe a little pat myself on the back, but I have 2,500 fucking subscribers on YouTube. So
That's what's up. And you're a TikTok extraordinaire.
Well, the TikTok fell off. I stopped doing the TikTok. I don't even get on the app anymore after they banned it for 12 hours.
That was the only reason why I got on it. Because like everybody was pissing and moaning that they couldn't get on TikTok. Yeah, again, do a little research. It took me about 10 minutes and I was able to download the APK and I was back on TikTok. I'm looking at everybody like, why y'all whining? There ain't shit on here anyways. And I had been on TikTok like before this whole like I had TikTok when I first got, I think, my first Galaxy. And I started a TikTok. I had no videos on there and I watched like I love Moon Pie. I'm not sure if she's still on there, but if she's still on there, when I get a chance, I'm gonna subscribe to her thing again. But Moon Pie is a dachshund.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember you telling me.
And they just made like different videos. I fucking love Moon Pie. Like that was my whole TikTok. It was just Moon Pie and then them Canadian aliens. They got reels on Facebook all the time. You never seen them? They look like little baby Yodas, but they change their faces a little bit and then they put them in Canadian outfits. Oh, dude, they tell jokes and shit. It's silly as fuck.
What is a Canadian outfit? Is it just like a plaid jacket?
Like they have like the one has overalls and a Canadian shirt with a maple leaf on it, and then like a stocking hat. There's a chick on there. And
so it's just UFOs and Trailer Park Boys.
Kind of. Like the last one I've seen was they were watching, like the one dude was standing there, or alien, whatever. And it was like, hey kitty, don't go up there. And then they showed a video of this cat trying to jump up on this railing of like a divider in an office, and it fell on this fucking cup that had a straw and it went up the cat's ass. The cat fucking jumped over the thing, and then they were just joking about it. All back and forth. They're like used cup for sale or cup for sale, newish, for cat lovers only, and like all kind of other shit, just silly back and forth. I'll send you a couple of the videos. It's fucking silly.
Hell yeah. I should get back on that app though, but like I said, I just lost my give a shit about it after they banned it. Like like I said, they only banned it for a couple of hours, but like I went from like addicted to just like free, like in that time,
It frees you from the bondage of the
right. And I'm afraid to get back on it. I'm afraid I'm gonna get addicted again.
Well, see, now I just use it. I download the videos from the shows that I've recorded and stuff, or that Ray's recorded for me, because it don't get rid of your videos like fucking Facebook does.
Right.
I noticed all my reels are gone, and before they would keep all the shows or all the videos, and now you have like 30 days, and then your videos get deleted.
Okay. Instagram is pretty good about keeping it, but you got to go like find it is the thing.
Like I think I go on my Instagram maybe twice every couple of years. It's ran by the guys from the studio, so if anybody tries to get a hold of me on Instagram or send me some shit on Instagram, just know I haven't seen it. I'm just
his PR team. That's what you're getting a hold of.
I have no idea even what's on Instagram.
Well,
it's like I'm on Rumble and I'm on Twitch and I'm on
all this. I got on Rumble pretty fucking for a second, thinking, "Oh, I'm gonna get on this and use it," and then I just didn't. Like I was just like,
all that is all tied to the studio, man. I run my Facebook, and if you want to see me perform or whatever, go look at the TikTok.
For somebody who like regularly does shows, you have like strikingly almost no footprint on the internet.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
No digital footprint whatsoever, damn near.
I might have a digital toe print. There's a big toe. That's
the big
it.
toe.
And a lot of people down me for that shit too. You have no idea throughout the years how many females, because I refuse to post anything about my personal life. Very rarely do I put anything about my kids, any relationship that I'm in, anything because I know what I say. I know what I say when I'm online. I know there's a lot of fuck people out there. I know I say a lot of fuck shit that upsets people, and a perfect example is the shit that I'm going through now. I'm sure my mouth has got me to where I'm at. Somebody didn't like my views. Somebody didn't. Now, I'm not saying that I said anything wrong, but somebody didn't like what I said or whatever, and it came back on my kids, and then it came back on my dogs. So, you know what I'm saying? I keep everything to as low key.
Well, that's just why I use a fake name. So.
Well, see, that I couldn't do because it originated way back in the day through Upside Down Studios. I wanted to keep my name. I didn't want to put a fake name out there, and I see where that got me. And don't everybody know if somehow, somewhere, like you could even ask Ray or whoever, no matter where we go, even if I've never been there before, somehow, some way, somebody knows me. Like I was in the middle of a fucking what concert was it? I think it was a Marilyn Manson concert, and I had somebody come up to me. Aren't you Marco from Upside Down Studios?
Well, that's nice. That's what's up.
Yeah. Or even Ray and I were at I think it was an Overtime concert, and dude came up and was like, "Aren't you the comedian Marco?" Yeah, yeah. I mean, so somehow, some way, somebody knows me that and it's kind of I don't need to have my digital footprint, and if they don't, she ain't wrong.
And if they don't know him, they know me. That's interesting.
Well, yeah, because she was a calendar girl.
Anyway, you got how did this show go on Saturday?
Great. It actually went pretty damn good.
I got invited to come out, but I had already had plans with my kiddos, so not to perform, but just to come hang out.
But Mike would have probably threw you on if you wanted.
I'm not trying to perform no more. I just don't like it. Like I'm cool with this and like connecting and getting people on the podcast and things like that, and just hanging out and being a cool friend or whatever. Really, that's the other reason why you don't see me at most of those shows no more, because I get conned into going on stage and then I don't have nothing prepared, and then everybody's like, "Yo, that sucked." I'm like, I tried to tell you, motherfuckers.
See, I'm glad. Like my life is so fucked up because I mean, anybody who's been to the shows knows that my shows rarely ever have the same material. I got a few stories that are the same that I can remember because I've said them so many times. But being that I get high so much, I don't remember shit. So most likely, whatever I said on stage that week happened that week.
You need an intervention, bro.
I'm good. I think I come from a long line of dope heads and alcoholics.
So do I.
I smoke weed and smoke cigarettes. And every once in a while, a double or two of Jack. That's it. So I think I've done pretty goddamn good for myself.
There you go. And your girl was proud of you as well, so you did well. But yeah, you have anything coming up? And if you got any plugs, plug them now.
I got a show coming up on the 19th with John Huff out at Firm Goals in Salem, Ohio. It's me, I believe Will Hopkins is going to be out there. Jimmy Ward's going to be out there. And a few other guys. So if you're around the area, come check us out.
Willie out on Hammered and Cheese at some point. If you talk, if you talk to him, ask him if he wants to do Hammered and Cheese, because he always
wants to be on a podcast, but We can't ever get him on a podcast.
Can't lock him down, right?
If we have Will on Hammered and Cheese, you got to make chicken nuggets. Cause
I can make homemade chicken nuggets. I've done it before.
Just because he has a story about going home with he can't go home with young chicks because he has diabetes, and all they got to feed him is their kids chicken nuggets and dinosaur nuggets in the microwave. It's so much shit. So yeah, so if Will ever comes on the show, we got to make chicken nuggets.
All right.
This is how man eating with diabeticals needs nuggets. But other than that, I got a show coming up in May for All About the Pause. It's a comedy show through Eargasm. Ryan is throwing it together. I still don't really know too much about it. I just know it's for my shelter.
You won't until like the day before.
But that's gonna be here in Austin town. Other than that,
when is that? Do you know what the date is?
May 4th or 5th, somewhere around there.
I might be able to make that.
Yeah, I'll let you know. As soon as I get the details, I'll let you know.
Okay.
But yeah.
Well, if it's a Saturday, I'll probably be doing Hammered and Cheese. But
yeah.
The 5th, I know the 5th is a Monday. That's Cinco de Mayo. So Cinco de Mayo would be fucking fun. We should do something.
May the 4th.
May 4th. Oh, that's a Sunday, so that should be okay.
So yeah, that's probably gonna have to be a Star Wars thing. We're gonna have to put together some Star Wars jokes.
Hell yeah. May the 4th be with you.
I remember the last show I did about May the 4th, I talked about Star Wars being Mexican. Obi-Wan, Chewie. You can't tell me Chewie wasn't Mexican. So, but other than that, we got Wednesday. What the fuck Wednesdays? As long as I don't end up in jail. Thursday I gotta go to court. So Wednesday we got What the Fuck Wednesday. Thursday we got mental health. Hopefully we'll have Dino back. Thoughts and prayers with you, bro. And we got Hammered and Cheese coming up Saturday, and then we do it all over again with motherfucking Monday. Oh, don't forget what is that? Generation Dan.
Generation Dan on Sundays with Atlas Novak and Dino the Genetic Marvel.
Yeah, check him out. Even though Atlas is one of my favorite libtards.
I think he's everybody's favorite libtard. We've been trying. I don't know. I've known him since the pandemic, so I'll say about 5 years. I have at least, because I was where he was. I was in the same wagon as he is now 5 years ago when I met him, and now I think we're all trying to drag him over to the other side, and he's moving an inch at a time.
You know what? I know burned his ass the most. I know this burned his ass.
Trump winning.
When that whole fire shit was going on and he had to evacuate, I messaged Atlas almost every other day to make sure he was okay. But at the same time, I'm talking shit about the fire. And I know he's wanting to argue with me. And then I'm like, bro, you all right? Y'all need anything? I could send you money, or I could, if you need anything out there. And I know he's like, I want to fucking hate him. But
not to start no shit between anybody, but like, he's never said anything bad about you per se, but he has kind of implied. He's like, I just wish he would have different politics. Like,
I wouldn't have it any other way though. I don't want Atlas to come to this side. I like Atlas.
I do.
The way he is. I like Atlas the way he is.
I feel like it would just be fun to have a dark side Atlas. You know,
he just totally flipped, like way right wing, just fucking flipped.
I feel like he would get a mullet. He would go full mullet, bro.
See him with the stained white beater,
right?
Straw hanging out his mouth,
handlebar mustache. He would look dead ass. He would look like Abraham from The Walking Dead. Like, oh my god.
Oh yeah. Let Atlas be who Atlas is. Leave Twitch alone.
Okay. Well, that's been the show, guys. Y'all have a good one, and we'll see you again Wednesday. Peace out.
Yep. Be safe.